But yeah, I just turned on the flashlight on my phone, and that's just
Oh,
giving me the light.
that's what your light. That's your light source. Is the flashlight on your phone.
Yes, you
Man,
gotta be inventive.
it's hard out here in the streets. You're like, I
Hell
don't even know if I
yeah.
want to do this show.
I ain't want to log that. I ain't want to pick up that damn ring light. I was like, F this joint.
When I go out of town, Jason,
Uh-huh.
I bring everything with me. I bring my desk. I
Mm-hmm.
bring all of my equipment,
Mm-hmm.
my lighting setup, my
Mm-hmm.
microphones, my
Mm-hmm.
mixing board. Uh,
Mm. Mixing board.
all these things that I do not
Okay,
have.
sorry, y'all.
Hey, we decided to go live anyway, even though your kids are right there.
Thanks, everyone. By the way.
Yeah, we're going to expose
my
them to the
wife-
life.
I thought I had a twist off wine bottle, and it does a corkscrew. And my assistant is not available at the moment to help me, so
The technical director is not here.
so now I have to do everything by myself, and I hate it.
Oh no, I have to do things by myself.
Listen,
that's so
it's
terrible.
not my fault that he spoils me. Okay, that's on
so
him.
Terrible.
That's on
God.
him. He
have
set
to
the
live
bar.
my life on my
He
own.
set the bar. If he doesn't reach the bar he set, that's not my fault.
That's so
on
terrible having
him.
to do things independently of your husband. That's
Listen, I just had to put a beer in my wine glass. Okay, like that's how much my struggle is right now. It's fine.
Oh man, first world problems,
It's fine. Again, he made the rules. I'm just following them. That's not my fault.
First world problems.
Okay, let me text all my friends.
There's kids out here in these streets. They don't have husbands to help them out.
In the streets.
In the streets,
Let's hope no kid has a husband.
When they try to set up their laptop and stuff for their podcast, no one helps them out in things. These poor children,
Yeah.
No one pours them a frosty glass of beer in a wine glass.
No one did it for me either today. So, I know what it means.
Got to see how the normies feel.
These normies.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it's horrible. I hate it. I hate everything. Okay.
These peasants.
I know, right?
Make sure I have.
Somebody was asking. I saw this question on Twitter that I thought was interesting. Who would win? Who's a better Earthbender, Toph or Kyoshi?
Ooh. Toph. Well, Toph did invent her own style of bending.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a better Earthbender. Like the first person that was able to dunk doesn't mean you're a better basketball player.
Toph can literally listen to her children from across the world. Like Kyoshi made her own island,
and Toph was
because she was also a 7 foot tall giantess. And I
hold
want
on.
my
Also,
mommy to
the
pick
fact
me up.
that Kyoshi literally rose the sea level, literally took all the earth in the ocean and then lifted it up. Come on. What are we talking about?
But that's not like thinking outside the box. Toph saw a problem and said, "Oh, I'm good enough to fix that," and she did.
And Toph also has a disability, so she wins.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
you're an ableist, Jason. That's what you are. You're an ableist trying to pit this poor blind girl
because you invent something.
7 foot tall giant.
Okay, here's an example. Michael Jordan didn't invent how to dunk, but he did perfect the dunk. Doesn't mean that he's a better player than such and such or such and such.
Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time.
Yeah, but
hands down.
Right. But people but beyond them have better skills than him, but doesn't make them better. Right, and that's my point.
Right,
like Kyoshi was doing feats that haven't been repeated. Toph's things have been repeated. No one else in Avatar universe that we know of has lifted the seafloor level and created a whole island by themselves. Everything Toph has been done by the people too.
Not sand.
That's all I got.
I mean, she taught her daughters everything that she knows how to do, and her daughters do not as good as Toph. They don't do anything as good as Toph, but they still can do the things that Toph is able to
in
do.
the streets. Just
I disagree with you.
knocking out home runs. Just in the...
The only feat I will give you that I think is hard is the one, the fact that she can sense the whole planet from wherever she's at. That is a very hard feat to go off of.
And also bend metal.
Yes.
Yeah, but everybody after her could bend metal. Like, is that
Because
like
she
Battlefield?
taught them how to do it. She, yeah.
Once again, so I mean, it's a skill that is not difficult to be able to master. But
no, but
making
you're
an
saying
island,
that if Kyoshi,
is that something that can be managed?
You're comparing Kyoshi to the person who created dunking. So if Kyoshi is who created dunking, then Toph is Michael Jordan.
What you guys
I'm saying Kyoshi is the one that has feats that are unable to be unmatched.
What you guys are
Toph is the one that just bettered the feats. She bettered the feats over, but Kyoshi has things that can't be matched.
What you guys are failing to realize is that Bolin is better than all of them.
Maybe lava, but Kyoshi can
Bolin
do lava
is a
too.
lovable guy.
So Kyoshi can lava bend as well, which we have not seen that Toph can do. We have no record that Toph can lava bend.
Well, because we only got to see her as a child. We didn't get to see everything she did because they robbed us of them growing up and made us get Aang as a douchebag father.
Haven't seen the feat, then it does not exist.
Look, all I know is they treated Mako very, very badly.
I don't even remember who Mako is. Is that the brother?
That's the brother, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
the one who'll be fine.
He's the one where ladies realize, you know what? I'm gay.
I was going to say, at one point they were talking Toph and Bomi, but I feel like old man versus the young 12-year-old, and the 12-year-old kept up with the old man. Means she'll probably surpass him when she gets older, but it's a good argument too, because he did earthbend with his face, which we haven't seen done either.
She was beating grown-ass, full-blown earthbenders in like underground cage fights as a child. As a blind child,
as a blind child, yeah.
But
as a total blind child.
Oh, Bomi metal bend first. That may be a question because people say that case that he was in, that he was able to get himself out of, was made of metal. People have talked about that too. That Toph might have been the one that got credit for, but Bomi was the first one really to do it. That is something people on the internet have been talking about. But I digress. If the series says Toph was the first, I'm gonna go with Toph being the first.
I surely hope that's not my assistant.
Yes,
give it that.
Like, where the fuck you at?
I want receipts. Like, give me receipts. Show me what happened first, and then we'll come back and talk about this conversation.
Also, Bomi did, like I said, he metal bended he did earth bend with his face.
With his face.
Which is pretty hard to do.
And he was also like and he was also like a completely jacked 105-year-old man. Right. Like completely like you've been lifting like all for 100 years, all he's been doing is straight arm day.
He's older than Aang, right? Him and Aang were friends as kids, right?
Yeah.
They were like the same age or something like that.
So he was seriously like 85 years old.
Oh no, like 100 and something when they
how long was Aang in the
112
years.
Yeah, he was 112 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bomi was like 112, 113. Yeah, Bomi was old as hell.
Secret.
Well, evidently, earthbenders have the ability to live longer because whatever their earthbending ability is allows them to. That's why Kyoshi lived to like 200 years old because something in the earthbending ability
live very, very long lives too. Only reason that Aang didn't live a very long life is because he spent 100 years frozen in a bubble, and that's why he died earlier than most other avatars who have died. But also with that, all the other, Earth Kingdom monarchs have been douchebags since then. Like, he didn't train his kids to do nothing. Kibu may have been fun and a great guy, but apparently all his kids and royal family were a bunch of assholes. Because with the queen after her, she got choked to death.
What was Zaire?
Yeah. Choked her ass.
But was that Bomi's offspring? I
would imagine so. It's a monarchy, so I would imagine so. And it's only
we can look it up one day, but I don't think that was his offspring, though.
I didn't think Bomi had any kids, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he had any kids.
Or maybe I remember. Maybe I remember
don't mean you gotta have kids because you fuck.
Did you see him? He definitely fucks.
Right. I don't know. His underarm hair was always disturbing to me.
Look, some women like a hairy man. Obviously the whole entire country of Greece still procreates.
That's true. That is true. And that grill was tough too, but he was old though. He was 120 something years old. So
he was out there.
Shout out to him. I think earthbending is the hardest of the elements to decipher who's better at, because there's so many different kind of forms that make it work, where air, fire, and water is a little harder too, because it's more different forms of water, but mostly air and fire pretty much.
Earthbending is
just who has more talent.
They actually developed to have like a lot of multiple different ways of doing it. Like in the water bending, you can do blood bending, and that's about it. And like fire and it's electricity, but earthbending, you got sand, you got lava, you got metal. Air, ain't nobody doing nothing with air.
Well, unless you're Zaire and the other dude, because you can fly. Other than that,
like you just got these powers yesterday and you figured it out.
Yeah, even though air is probably the most deadliest one, I think that's why it's the most peaceful one. Because literally everything around us is air. Like
spill someone's oxygen out of their lungs.
Or all of our bodies is oxygen and air. It's blood and it's air in our blood. Like you could do anything you want with airbending if you really put your mind to it.
Maybe you would be the best airbender ever, Jason. Since you're
thinking
outside the box.
I would never want that power. People would just be dropping dead all around me.
No, hands down, I would want to be a firebender. Like, I don't care if I don't care if it is a villain power.
It's the fascism that does it for me.
That's what I want.
I always thought I wanted to be a firebender too, but then something about being a lava bender is like, oh yeah, it's like being a firebender, except I can do all these other cool shit too as well.
Mm-hmm,
and I can make a volcano,
sand bend, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You want to start in 13?
We can start whenever you feel like.
Oh,
because
I wanted to ask you about, but it's fine.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I can't remember. I wrote it down, but I can't remember where I wrote it down at. So.
Okay. Well, we'll start at 13, and then we can do this reviews, and then I can go, back upstairs.
Reviews.
And get some blueberry cobbler.
Oh my God, you're with white people, aren't you?
You sussed that out pretty well.
I use my spider sense to figure out. My son's mother's family is there for Christmas Eve. They want to have. Oh, hey everybody!
Yeah,
let's just start the show.
Give the people what they want.
Welcome to the Headcanon Circus podcast. I am your host, Jason Baker. They also call me the Duke of All Nerds, Duke of All Nightskins, the Lord of this here show, and I will be a tyrant when I do it. So, yes, you're all fired. Fire. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Of course, if you're first time joining us, please go ahead. And if it's not your first time joining us, and if you just haven't got around to it, I don't know why you haven't got around to it, if you've been joining us for all this time, but please go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, interact with this. I say this every week, but, there's this thing that happens with the internet. If you tell the internet you like something, the internet gives that something money. And I want money. I'm willing to sell out real quickly. I'll be worse than the Black Eyed Peas. If someone comes with a large amount of money, I'll be like, yeah, let's get it started in here with this dance that we can sell out. I'll give all these movies great positive ratings if the price is good enough. But without further ado, let's go over to our other co-hosts. Our co-host, that's what it is. He is the Keenan to my Kel, Mr. Jason. How you doing, Jason?
Oh, here. Oh, no. Got Kel says, oh, here you go. Never mind. Hey, but I still do love orange soda, too. So, yeah, that works out good. No, I'm good, man.
Kel is the more successful one, so that's why you're the Keenan. I mean, Keenan's the more successful one.
I was about to say, what?
Keenan got a job. Kel's still out there in the streets.
But Kel might have got the most action in his prime. Yeah, that's true. which the aftermath of Kenan and Kel with what's the Keke Palmer? Yes.
Yeah.
Which is all canon in my mind now. It's all canon. But no, other than that, I'm good, man. I'm out in Flow Rider.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so sorry. At least you might stay warm this weekend because it's supposed to be like the coldest it's ever been because, we have fucked up the world and it's just going to all of our weather patterns are just going off the charts. But hey, you might stay warm. But either way, going to our second co-host, she makes sure that whatever we say at least comes with a asterisk of they're just joking, y'all. It's Lisa. Yeah. How you doing, Lisa?
What's up, y'all? How's it going? I just want to say that might go down in history as the longest opening ever, Jason. I forgot that you were still introducing the show, and I was just like starting to space off, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's about to say my name. I need to pay attention."
I'm sorry.
That's her way of saying you're boring. That's all.
So, no,
you're boring. I'm not boring.
I never said
my parents like watching me.
I said long-winded. Long-winded. It's fine. That's how you write good papers. You just keep talking. And so just keep your work out.
Until your teacher gets like, all right, I think they did good enough and just give you an A. Or in my case, to give me a C- and give all my friends an A. Either way, guys, we have a jam-packed show for you today. We have finally come to the point where Jason can finally ejaculate. He's been waiting 15 years for this. We're going to review Avatar 2.
Whoa. My oldest kid is 11. My youngest is 7. So I've done some.
I thought he was about to be whoa, because you literally said ejaculate as it was the three of our straight launch. Okay, I know.
Not that kind of show, ladies and gentlemen.
But on our OnlyFans. Oh no,
yeah, the OnlyFans.
What did I call it last week? Pantheon or whatever.
Yes. Yes. On our Panthora, yes, we have.
Yeah.
In addition to our review of the cultural milestone Avatar, The Way of the Water, we will also doing a review of Batman Under the Red Hood, our animated review for the week. And then also with that will be our retro review because Mr. James Cameron is back in the streets. We're going to do one of his best movies of all time, Aliens, as well. So you guys are in for a treat. Because this is when Lisa's last day. This is Lisa's last day. She had a good run. She made it longer than Jaren. So
true. Facts.
Sorry.
So
I thought she had left. I'm like, whoa, Lisa, we kicked you off the show. You don't.
Yeah, just kidding. Come back. No. Sorry,
it's all jokes.
My dad gave me a ring light. It's like a mini ring light. And I forgot to charge it, so I'm charging it real quick, so y'all can see my face because it's a little dark in my house today, and I don't know what's going on with my light bulbs.
It's always a little dark in my house, but it's full of black people.
Yeah,
mostly black people.
We don't want to waste any electricity. Hey, turn the lights off. Yeah. Think I made of money?
Man, and these kids, I mean, I always thought my stepdad was crazy when he used to turn the lights off, and kids, they just leave the lights on, just nobody in the room, TV watching itself. I become my parents, guys. Oh God.
Yeah, because bills are expensive. And so, every time you leave that light switch, that circuit on, it's just money flying out the window.
You ruined the planet for you.
We ruined it for you.
Yeah. You're not doing it for me. I'll be dead soon. No, this is you.
Facts.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Jake Sully lives with his newfound family formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started, Jake must work with Neytiri and the army of the Na'vi race to protect their home. That is a much more exciting summary of Avatar, The Way of Water, also known as Avatar 2. If you don't know, now you know. We always do a one-sentence review of our whatever we review on the show. So let's go ahead and start off. Jason, give us your one-sentence review, please.
My one-sentence review, Avatar 2, is everybody want to be a Na'vi, but don't nobody want to be a Na'vi.
Thank you, Mr. Paul Mooney.
Yes.
Lisa, go ahead and hit us with your one sentence.
My one sentence review for Avatar 2 is I don't remember Free Willy being so violent. Oh, wait. I don't remember so many guns coming out of the sinking of the Titanic. Oh, just kidding. It was okay.
Way more than one sentence. It's good.
No, I put
it's a run on. It's a run on.
Yeah.
There's semicolons in each one of these things.
I made sure.
Look, we do what we want.
Correct.
We say it's one sentence, but it doesn't have to be one sentence.
It's fine.
Right.
It's one complete thought.
For me is, that's right, kids. You too can achieve anything you want as long as you're a mediocre white dude.
Fair.
Facts.
All right.
True.
Let's just go ahead and start this discussion. I'm gonna let Jason go ahead because I really want his joy to influence me, and maybe I will change my mind about this movie if his joy.
No. I want you guys to live in your truth and stay where you are with it, because I think my review is going to be more interesting than you guys think. So let's jump right into my review. One, I think this is what movies are meant to do and are made for. And when I say that, it's not because it's some grand thing. This movie is the definition of, if you don't see it the way that Cameron envisioned it, you were completely missing out on the movie, because the plot is it's a little stronger than the first one, but like Jason said, that bar was set really low. But I saw this in IMAX.
He's like, I did it.
I saw this in IMAX and in 3D, and you almost feel like you are in this world. I know Lisa mentioned that the World of Pandora, like the amusement park thing, is like amazing. This movie made me feel like I was there too, because I saw it in IMAX and 3D with my youngest daughter, so it wasn't even like I was bugging. She was oohing and ahhing and wowing because the movie is so beautiful. So when I say this is the prototypical what a movie's made for, movies are made to be enjoyed in the theater with that experience, with what the artist wants to be done. I think one of the biggest things on this show, why when me and Jason disagree about things, is that I'm always in the mindset of, whatever the artist is trying to give me, I'll take it until it just becomes a bunch of bullshit. But Jason's in a mindset of like, no, you should be writing this to be the best thing that should have ever been written on the planet and make it fun. And that's what we always butt heads at. But looking at this movie, I have a lot of things that I think are just not good in this movie. But because it's such a visual masterpiece and such a technical masterpiece, I'm like, I can go without a lot of this stuff, but just it feels like you're in there. Now, let's just get my stupid stuff out the way. Kids get captured too much. I don't even care about no damn whales. I don't care about no damn whales. I actually did not enjoy anything that took part in the forest portion of it. And I felt like sometimes pieces of dialogue were just completely missed. And I couldn't figure out why. Like at one point, he gets his whole family back and doesn't give a shit about Spider. And then Spider shows up and he's like, oh yeah, come in. Like, whoa, you just didn't care about this kid a minute ago. Like you were just happy you had your blue family. Like, so it was moments I was just like, but like, again, I think any script can be looked at as weak. And even we'll talk about Aliens, there's a lot of holes in Aliens too. I think Cameron has had a lot of holes, but because the movies have been so enjoyable, we always overlook it. Avatar 1 and 2 are probably the first times where you start realizing like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. And my last big beef with Avatar 2 is it's a lot of retcons in here. Like they Rise of Skywalker the hell out of this movie. To be like, oh, this is what you hated in the first one? Well, we're just going to make stuff up to eliminate whatever happened in the first one to make you feel better about the second one. With all that being said, if you see this movie, pay the money to see it in IMAX and 3D. I'm not trying to fill James Cameron's pockets, but I'm saying that the look and vibe, I mean, he's going to get paid regardless.
Pockets.
I mean, but he's going to get paid regardless if you see it or don't see it, so it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to say is that seeing it in that mode and atmosphere is almost magical. And it makes you almost forgive all the BS that does happen because you're so influenced by the world. Also, like I said, my last part of it is that Sully, I realized what was wrong with Avatar. And you guys have said it before, but I know y'all like, oh, weak script. No, it's not the weak script.
No, it's not.
Sam Worthington thing is terrible.
Yes!
That's what's wrong with Avatar. Because everybody in this performance acts his ass off. And every line he says in this movie is god awful. I even went back to the original and said, how did I miss that so badly? And I watched the original and I was like, oh, this is why everybody hates it. Because 70% of the dialogue is from him, and he
Thank
is
God,
no
Jason,
charisma,
you finally get
no
it.
acting. Well, no, again, but I think that's a lot of movies. But I think again, because it's made a Billy, we feel like it shouldn't have made that money for with it. But that's the point is that, and then also going even further, I was like, well, hold on, maybe is it just the Avatar thing? Is it just James Cameron? And then I watched Wrath and Clash of Titans, then was like, oh no, this guy's terrible.
He's just bad.
And if you had a leading man that actually felt like a leading man and actually had charisma and was charismatic, this movie probably works on both in 1 and 2 a lot better. Because I mean, we almost forgive everything The Rock's in, and The Rock's movies are no better than these movies. But the problem is that we like The Rock. We enjoy what The Rock does. Sam Worthington is probably the most cardboard leading man I've ever seen put into a movie. And I'm surprised Cameron didn't kill him off so that going forward, he could replace him with somebody way more interesting.
I want to expound you upon that too, because like I don't like the white savior trope. Obviously, I hate it. I hate it. But there are some really, really good movies that come out of this because of their leading man, really, because they really don't do this with women. Like Dances with Wolves, The Last Samurai. Those live and die with the charisma of their leading star. And the reason for me for Avatar, the previous one especially, is because Sam Worthington is just like a charisma black hole.
Exactly.
And in this movie, it is even further egregious how just bland he is. Like they could have put anybody else in here, and it would probably have elevated this movie to at least for me, to an enjoyable level to watch. But he is so bland that it's just like every time he's in a scene, I'm just like, can we skip to something else, please?
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and start. The thing that I'll agree with you, Jason, that this is a very, very beautiful movie. There are things in this movie that make you go, wow, especially if you see it in 3D. It's awesome to look at. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty thing to look at. For me, especially since I'm a guy who loves animation, stuff like that, just because it's pretty to look at doesn't mean it's going to make it good. And that's always been my thing with Avatar. They've always been pretty to look at, but it's like, it's like having a hot girlfriend, but she ain't got no brains. Oh, she pretty to look at.
Bad comparison. Because you would still date that chick for numerous years to be like
for a year at least. Because I'm a shallow man. That's a difference. But like from the opening scene, this movie reminded me of, especially the Jake Sully character. I remember I was in Hawaii. Lisa was there too. We were in this beautiful place. We were all snorkeling in this nice little lagoon. It was filled with tourists, not a native person to be in sight, right?
Yeah.
And I was getting out this water, and this dad, his child, and this white guy with dreads, obviously his tour guy, was walking into the water. And the dad was talking to the tour guide. It's like, oh, there seems to be a lot of sea urchins in the water. And the white guy addressed, well, here we call them some, native Hawaiian word. I'm like, no, Scott, you don't call them that. The native people call them that. And when in the first narration, freaking Jake Sully is like, the sky people, like, what they're called. You're from there. Like, why are you talking to us? Like, oh my God. It is like the most infuriating thing to me. It's just that this guy, as I said to you, he spends a weekend in the hood and he's dropping the N-word. Like, he's like,
like I said again, I think Sully's more the Rachel Dolezal of Avatar.
There's so many things that make this movie to me problematic that I just like it just kind of, and that's just beyond the bad characters, beyond the fact that Zoe Saldana has to cry in every movie that she's in, beyond the annoying kids that I wish all of them would die, beyond the fact that there's a lot of times where you think there's a scene that happens where they have success, and then afterwards they have like a negative aspect to it, and you're like, these scenes seem like they're in backwards orders, right? Like, and it's just beyond all of that, this whole just idea that it's just so icky to me. It's just so icky that we're rooting for this guy who's basically like co-opted this native life and has become the best chief in the group. you know, and it's just I can't get into it. I can't dig it because it's just it's written by a white dude. There's nothing here that it's just appropriation after appropriation after appropriation. Most of the people, with the exception of the ones that are the green avatars, are white people. At least they put some actual Maori actors in there. Cliff Curtis, thinking that he actually play a guy that's actually of his race for once. But it's like even then, it's like they're just Maoris. They're not aliens on a different planet. They're just Maoris. They're not whales of a different planet. They're just whales, and it's just like it's just so bland. I don't know. It's just there's just so much here that could be likable, and it just falls so flat to me. And there's whole 3 hours of movie. And I like long movies. For 2.5 hours, I'm like, nothing has moved me at all. There are no stakes. There's no urgency. There's no anything that would just say, let me get invested in this group of people. And that's where I'm just like, I don't want to watch another one of these. And there's 3 more to go. Please don't make me watch another one of these.
But see, I feel like
on the calendar.
I know.
Yeah, they already.
He already bought his ticket. He already has it on the schedule.
Oh yeah. I know Lisa's going to jump in, but like I guess I felt different about the characterization here. Like I thought, yes, is it the tropish kid stuff? Absolutely. You know how much I hate the tropish kid stuff tremendously. But I thought the opposite, man. I thought it was a lot to like in the characterizations here. The only one I thought that was a little off was Sully and Zoe Saldana's relationship, because it kind of felt like I don't know why they like each other. I hate to say that, like,
yes,
because everything he would say,
well,
she was
because
in disagreement with.
He's the first dude that's not in her tribe that she met. That's why she likes him.
All he does is like kind of negates like everything she says, everything she has, everything. Right. All he does, which is like not the relationship that I remember them having.
Right.
And so that right off the bat didn't make sense. Right. Also, the biggest thing for me was him being like, we don't know how, but somehow magically we have babies. Like,
oh, there's so many.
Why did you even say it? Because like, just don't say it. Like the narration didn't make sense to me. The whole first act could have been 30 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. I looked down at my clock. I looked down at my watch. I was like, holy shit, it's already been an hour and 20 minutes and nothing has happened. Like it felt like forever. However, I will say once it got to where what I think James Cameron is great at is the action scenes. Once it got into that second act action scene, I was invested and I was like, on pins and needles. I was stressed out. My heart was beating and I was just like, oh my God, what the crap's going to happen? I did get annoyed when the daughters got free and then got recaptured and they knew it was so ridiculous.
Like 6 times.
They knew it was so ridiculous that the little daughter was just like, I can't believe I just got captured again. Like she had to say it out loud because she knew it was so it's like, okay, if you know it's that ridiculous, like why? What does it do to save the story? Just don't let them get free in the first place, because it just like I understand you need things to help move the plot. I understand that. But it didn't need it. The plot didn't need it. So it's just like all these little things. And I do feel like James Cameron just used this to I don't know. I'm trying to keep us an E rating. He just jizzed all over the place. And he's just like, mine. Like, you will worship me. Yes. I'm amazing. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's all it felt like. Like, I did not hate the movie. I honestly thought that I was going to really, really hate it. Like, I had no desire to see it. And I thought it was a good movie. It was at least an hour too long. I just think it was. I think it was an hour too long because certain things happened that didn't make sense. They were beautiful, but like I just didn't think that it needed to be in the theatrical release. Now later when you do like the extended version, absolutely. So then you can just have all those pretty scenes and everything. But my biggest problem with this movie is they made the antagonist so OP, and like I just remember in the first movie, it was such a big deal for Sully to, mate and use the butt plug with the flying guy so that they could be one, right? And like it was such a big deal, and it was like this big, huge thing, and it was just like, oh, no one's ever done that. And then this stupid guy who's been in a body for like 20 hours is like literally like, oh, now I'm awesome. So then now all of a sudden he's completely mated, and then his whole team is complete. Like, that's not right, because then that completely devalues the experience from the first one, and then it's so it's not really that hard.
And also
I'll push back on that because Sully was an idiot, and if he was able to do it, from what we know of, all those guys were intelligent. Sully was a moron and was able to do it. So I can kind of believe that these intelligent people can get it done.
Which also just goes to show you like how badly they treat these native people who like, this is our most sacred thing. Only our most strongest warriors can do this. And this fucking moron comes and goes, I can do it. Your traditions are stupid. Like any idiot can do this. Like,
I don't know. And I have a hard time believing that Earthlings would go and just, I guess I shouldn't have a hard time.
No. Yeah. This is why there's not a black person in this. There's not an on-screen black person in this film, because these guys, these fucking humans, are so grossly like unaware that the black people are just like, nah, we're not doing this. Y'all are doing the colonization over again. Like, blatantly.
And I don't understand why they don't just call him colonist. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why Sully's not calling him colonist. He's human. Like, he knows what a colonist is. That's literally what they are. That's what they're doing.
Like, we don't have white people today that call what they did colonization. So I doubt in the future.
I say it all the time.
But
I get what I'm saying. You may, but
that term is loaded, and James Cameron is trying to make another Billy, and he's not going to offend half his audience by calling the blatant.
Yeah, but in Aliens, they're called colonies, and they're called colonists.
Yeah,
we didn't care in the 80s. Was that the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, because they didn't have a bad connotation in the 80s either. Yeah. Like, there's a more recent thing of it being
ever since Black Panther's like, they stay away from the colonists.
Exactly.
Now white people are like, oh, we weren't colonists, we were settlers here. We're settling this strange unpopulated land. We didn't know there happened to be sentient people here.
Okay. Also, they mentioned like a year has passed. So the very beginning, you have like what you're assuming is like 18 years that he's been on Pandora, right? Because we're just assuming because he has 4 grown kids or 3 kids and an adopted kid that also makes no sense. Like, they don't know where she came from,
which is also super problematic. The thing is a freaking dead shell. Someone fucked it.
So it's at least 18 years. We're saying, right? But then on the screen it says 1 year later, like after like the bad guys come and catch fire to the forest. But like my thing is, how are they measuring a year? Because a year to us is the full rotation around.
Yeah.
So what does that even mean? I don't know. There's just so many things where it's like, and why did everyone have different accents?
Because it's written by white dudes. They
like,
consult one native person.
Oh
like,
my god!
The 2 boys sound like they're straight from California, or they're the white dudes from Hawaii who've heard how Hawaiians speak, but they're not Hawaiian themselves, but they think it's cool. So they just sound like just giga chad.
I think that's nitpicky, because I'm from DC, and you can meet 3 people from DC that all speak completely different in tone and in slang. Like.
Yeah, but not in your family, Georgia. Right? You're talking about your brother.
Yeah, in my family, you
guys all talk. You guys all speak differently.
Yeah, in my family, my cousins and them don't speak the way I speak. Like, hell, Jason's living an embodiment of that. He don't talk like his brothers talk.
Yeah, but my brother grew up in freaking Jacksonville. I didn't.
But the point is,
they all sleep together in a huddle. I don't know. They're just like, I agree. It is nitpicking. I know it is, but those were just little things that would stand
out. Me out. In the same house with your sister, and aren't you and your sister have different ideology, thought processes, like differences in the same household?
As adults, yes, but they're still children. So as adults, I agree. Yeah, I definitely say things because I've lived different places now, but they literally sleep in a pile together. Like, so that was the only thing I just thought was so bizarre, and especially because they spoke so differently than their father, but not enough like their mother. I don't know. It to me it was jarring. But I do agree with you. I do think that is very nitpicky. That is a very nitpicky
The
thing.
one thing that besides the accent thing that jarred me is when the middle son got saved by the whale, and I was like, and he just started talking to him. I was like, are they friends? Like, what happened here? Like, did we know they were talking whales? Did he know they were talking whales? Like, like they could have like shown that scene. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, they explain it later, but like this, it came so out of left field when he was getting chased by that pretty cool looking big mouth snake shark, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, the whale comes and saves him. And it's like, it reminds me of like that episode of Rick and Morty. It's like, was Hepatitis C our friend? Like, did we have a previous relationship with him? Right. Or is he just a good guy? And then with the story about that whale, where they're like, no,
they could have scrapped all the whale stuff. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah, that was so weird. Like, he's a loner because he protected his bondmate or his brothers.
It's like, fuck that dude, because all those deaths are on him. Like, what do you mean? He got like,
and then they celebrated when he came to kill people, and he's like, yay, now he's friends again. Yeah. There was something else that I was.
Well, but I think there's a lot here to outcast because he had killed their people, even though the people were battling each other. He had killed their people to the perspective of the Na'vi. And so that's why he was an outcast, because they were like, you don't kill our kind. Evidently, they could kill each other, but they can't. The whale people can't kill them. And that was the process. That was the thought process. And then we found out.
We were like, oh yeah, we knew they were hunting those whales. We just didn't give a shit because they was over there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't know because they were like shocked when they thought that they were hunting the whales. Like, you didn't realize these whales were disappearing. Every season, whales were
like the dude, like the Curtis's character was like, "Oh yeah, as long as it's over the horizon, we didn't care." But now they got our buddies. Like, "Whoa, no! What? Oh god!"
Okay, so
even though, like that whole thing about like, "Oh, no aging," and I'm like, "Okay, so it's gonna go somewhere." And it's like, "No, just like, what?"
And for me, that whole idea, it doesn't even come until like the last half of the second act. That's the reason why they're there again. Is because this stuff, which is like, like they know these creatures are sentient and they don't give a fuck. Like the one dude who's, you know, what's his face from Jermaine Clementine from Clement from the
you know me and Lisa don't know who the fuck you talking
about.
Yeah,
I don't even know where you're even trying to say.
Flight of the Conchords. Flight of the Conchords. I don't know. Flight of the Conchords.
No.
Jermaine Clement. Well, either way, like they kind of set him up as trying to be like, because in the original movie, you know, scientists were there to do science, right? And then like they were trying to like find a peaceful solution that everybody could like live with. And this guy is like, I'm a marine biologist. That's a sentient creature. I help kill them. Like. Beast feel bad for me. Like, no.
No,
you're terrible. You're a murderer too.
Yeah.
Gotta get that check though, baby.
$80 million right here. I'm like, yeah, kill that motherfucker. Let's go.
You're right. Gotta get that check.
I also want to know, like, what was the thought process of let's leave here so they don't kill us? Like, I would just assume they're still gonna kill your tribe.
Yeah, like, they're just going to slaughter everybody that's there.
Yeah, they're just going to completely rape and pillage the land until they find you. So I don't understand. And then at the end, he's like, we stay and fight. I'm like, what about your brothers and sisters that you left behind? They all dead, bro.
Also,
because Sully is an idiot and we hate him.
And his wife is just like, okay.
Let's also go back to fuck Spider.
Oh, you know what I've been calling him in my head? Mimi Siku. Did you ever watch Jungle to Jungle?
Yes, yeah. Freaking poor Sam Huntington.
Yeah, Mimi Siku. I just kept waiting for him to just say, I can't remember now what the thing was.
Here's another thing that really irks me, all right? The internet's free. The internet's free.
Spider, man. Spider was trying to live his best life.
Internet's free. It's right there, right? James Cameron, all I gotta do is like, is it still cool to put white dudes in dreads? And the first thing would have been like, no. And yet he still shot that shit. Let's just go on. You guys done talking about this thing? I feel like I'm done talking about this thing.
Let me check my notes and just see what else I had to say. I was not mad at Mimi Siku. I understand. I mean, he got abandoned. His dad sucks. He got a pseudo dad back. I was a little disappointed that he was teaching them like how to speak, but also I kind of wasn't surprised, but it was a little disappointing. But
he just like totally like rolled over and is like, oh yeah, I'll just be your translator, I guess. You guys don't seem like bad dudes. And then when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna burn down these people's houses, it's like, you knew they were about that life. I don't know why you're upset now. And then he saved the motherfucker. Like I don't see how, because the dude was choked out and drowning.
Yeah, he's OP. It doesn't make sense. Like
But he was like, oh no, that's my clone dad. I don't know. He was kind of nice to me sometimes. But either way, it doesn't matter if he dies or not, because they'll just make another one. It doesn't fucking matter.
But, I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, it
literally doesn't matter because they just have his just do it again and do it again. That's the problem I always have with things like that. Is like it's a little bit of a cop out because then it literally doesn't matter. But so Jason Allen, you've never seen Titanic?
Hell no, I ain't watching that shit.
Okay, but you have now because I'm pretty sure that movie had complete scenes cut out of Titanic when the boat is just like up and down.
No, I don't know people were climbing up there like that.
I've seen this.
Like monsters.
Hey, that's Titanic. I know that shot when they're running through the corridors and chasing the water. I'm like, oh, that's Rose and Jack. I got it. I know.
The only difference is no one told Jake Sully to paint him like one of your French whores.
But we did get the nip slip.
I've seen parts of Titanic, so I've seen the ship overflowing thing. I just never watched the whole movie all the way through.
You just got to see it again in this movie for the low price of $17.99.
I spent $10.
Look, we got everything. We got Aliens. We got True Lies. We got everything in this movie that Cameron's done. So I appreciate that, James Cameron. Thank you.
It was a nice little. He's like, what else can I put? What other movie have I done? Let me put a little Terminator in here.
Piranha 2 was in here. Like, I was all for it. I'm good. Thank you, James Cameron. Gave me your best hits all in one movie.
We don't have to go nowhere. It's all in a 3-hour master.
And I had just watched Aliens, so I was just like, he ain't even trying to come up with anything new. He's just throwing this in here.
Like the best thing about this is like I feel like he's like, okay, let's worry about the technology and all that stuff. Just like, hey, James, we need a script. He's like, oh, just pull some pages from like these other ones and put them together. We got it's fine. They'll never know the difference.
So I actually do have a question about the filming of this movie because it's been so long since I investigated anything about it. Are they in suit? They're in like the dot suits acting?
Yes, it's motion capture. So
they're 100% acting. Like it's their movements.
For the most part, yes.
So whenever they're in the water, are they in the water acting, or are they pretending like they're in the water?
They were literally in the water, drowning a lot of times.
Okay.
Funny quote. Edie Falco, who plays the General Ardmore in this, was like, "I thought this movie came out a long time ago, just flopped. I had no idea that this is still coming out."
Oh yeah, I read an article about it because he filmed all of them at the same time, so they're all already filmed.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. I filmed this shit. I thought this didn't do any well. That's why I didn't see any residuals. I was like, I just thought it was bad.
I need to be that disconnected from the world in life. Just to be like, oh, this movie came out? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head into our rating system, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. If you haven't been with us before, you don't know, now you know. If we think something's really good, we give it a head. If we think something is mid, like some week-old underwear, we give it a cannon. If we think some doo-doo, like a week and 1 day old underwear, we give it a circus. All right. How would you rate the performances of this here little film, Lisa?
Performances as in actors, or are we talking about the whales? Okay.
And how? Man, fuck the whales.
Performances as in actors. Yeah, I don't think anyone stole the show. So I think it's pretty. I'm trying to think if anyone. I'm just like, oh, you do such a great job. Nope. So I'm just gonna give a circus.
Jason, how about you?
Performances, I'll probably give it a canon, man. I thought Sigourney Weaver playing a child was actually really damn good because I didn't know that was Sigourney Weaver. And so after the movie, and I was like, oh, that was Sigourney Weaver. So I thought that was pretty good. I thought Zoe Zadana, even though they had her yelling and screaming and crying the whole time, she did a good job of yelling, screaming, and crying the whole time. So I'll give it a canon. Just a vapid black hole that is Sam Worthington is just hard to overcome, man. And I think the fact that they're able to at least put in serviceable performances, bouncing off of him, I got to give a lot of respect to all those people. So
when Netanyahu died, I don't know, I think that's the kid's name, and she was just screaming, and I was like, oh, this is so bad. I would give this performance only on Stephen Lang alone, because at least Stephen Lang looks like he's having fun. I'm gonna give it a canon. Because he was like, I get to put on a motion capture suit now, and I get to be a big blue cat.
Which one was Stephen Lang?
He's the main bad guy.
Yeah. Of course he'd have fun. He gets to do everything.
Yeah, he gets to carry the movie because everybody else is just black holes, man. And I really wish, the one kid that I really wish would, they could have got rid of the littlest girl and been fine.
No, because she had to get captured all the time and almost drown. And hey,
how about visuals? Visuals. What we rate this on the visual aspect of this movie? Jason, you go ahead with this. Go ahead and start with it.
Come on, y'all know that thing is straight fire as head.
Lisa, what would you give this on the visuals?
Yeah, I didn't see it in 3D, but I still thought that it was beautiful. So it gets head. Yeah.
I say with the cold chest.
Yeah.
As Lisa stated previously, I believe this is James Cameron just going balls to the wall, just emptying the whole nutsack on here. Mm-hmm. I think it's ahead, visually speaking. He could have done a little better with the screenplay, but he's just like, I don't care. And then lastly, we're going to go with the overall story. How would you rate this, Lisa?
Circus. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes any sense. None of it.
Jason?
I'm not as far as it doesn't make sense. I still do think it's circus because it's light on plot, and I personally don't need a bunch of plot when I'm looking at something that's spectacular. So I'm good.
A lot of this reminded me of like a David Attenborough like documentary, but without like the charming British narration. So I'm gonna give it a circus because this stuff is just straight goofy. All right, and lastly, we're gonna go to our number rating system. If we think it's 1, you should. We think it's complete garbage, and you should totally skip it. And as a 5, we think it's the best thing since obviously The Wiz. So let's go ahead and rate this. Lisa, what would you give this out of 1 from 5?
I think it gets it gets like a 2.7. It's not quite a 3, but I don't feel like I wasted my money. So, and I did have fun, and I was invested when the son died. I was very pissed off. So,
the best one.
so it's a 2.7. Go see it. You need to watch it. Like, I think everybody needs to go watch it.
Jason.
I'm gonna do a 3.5. I think it was good. I think the spectacle of it and the achievements in the filmmaking is what you're going to see. And I think it was just enjoyable. I didn't have any real issues with it. So I'm a 3.5. I could rock with that.
Yeah. And for me, I'm going to give it a 2. I really want to give it a 1, but that would be unfair.
You're not trying to get fired.
That would be unfair to the movie because there are some enjoyable parts.
Yeah.
And as I said, this movie looks spectacular. And just for that alone gives it a point. And everything else not having any black people in it, CCH Pounder is in it, but you don't know which one she is. That gives it -4 points. 1 point plus -4. Let's say 2.
Okay. And math.
I think my math turns out correctly.
Right. Still will maintain that you guys are a bunch of haters. And it didn't matter what this movie could have done. This movie could have been T2, and y'all would have been like, "Ugh, but the God did."
If it was T2, I'd been all over this.
No, you would have shitted on it.
I am not like that. I'm not
Edward
like that.
Furlong was annoying in T2 as well, but we overlooked it because it was a cool premise.
But he also said some cool things like "Hasta la vista, baby."
Yeah. I thought I was gonna hate it. I didn't hate this movie. Like, I didn't hate it. I wasn't mad that I spent money on it. And so, you know, I laughed and I cried. I didn't cry, but I got angry.
This movie will age terribly because nobody's sitting around with an IMAX 3D movie system in their home to view it in the way it's supposed to be. Like, that's the only issue.
Thing with the first Avatar, because a lot of people liked it because of the spectacle of it. But when you sit down and just watch it as a movie, you're like, this ain't all there, man. This ain't all that. Like, you know, like Goodfellas. Every time that comes on TV, I don't need to watch it in the theater to enjoy Goodfellas. Yeah. Or Snatch.
Right, but I think that's two different types of movies for two different type of audiences in filmmaking. I think movies as a spectrum aren't one thing. Like, at one point of our lives, movies were just black and white with no words. And the feats in the stunt work was the spectacle of a movie. So I think all of it, yes. I think at the end of the day, I look at this going into it knowing that this was just going to be a visual feat with how cool can they make this. That's it. That's probably my parameter was that. Because this wasn't, I mean, we weren't thinking Cameron was going to be writing Shakespeare. Like, if you came in thinking that, it was going to be all this great character
development. I've seen True Lies.
No, we're going to be like, no. But think about it. Even we're about to review Aliens. Aliens has some of the worst character work in movie history, and we love it. You know why? Because it's just cool. All those Marines are fodder. All of them are fodder. All of them. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but it's a lot wrong with it, but it's just cool. T2. Most of the character development is done in T1. T2's character development is not done at all. All of that stuff is fodder again.
Develop the Terminator. His character gets developed.
His character doesn't get developed. He's the same
from mindless machine that is mindless to a mindless machine that spouts catchphrases. That's a whole arc.
That's not development. That's just the kid was the one that told him, was giving him orders this time. That's all.
Hasta la vista, baby, and then he shoots him.
Like I said, I think a lot of it. I mean, we can even go further with True Lies. It is no character development in True Lies, and that may be his best movie.
In that.
He loves his wife.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we know about Arnold. Like, yes, no development there. It's just a lot of cool stuff. I mean, the Joker rides a horse through them all. Has a horse in an elevator. Like, it's just cool stuff in these movies.
I think in the True Lies, he actually hates his wife because he uses CIA resources to honeypot his own wife.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, you say hate, I say true love.
It's facts. Good point.
Committing, what would be the equivalent of embezzlement is fine. I guess you can do that in love. Well, let us move on. If y'all have not subscribed to our humble show, please go ahead and subscribe. If you would please comment if you like our review, or if you don't like a review, please let us know. It's all Jason's fault, whatever it is. Not this Jason, the other Jason. Whatever it is.
Yes.
But I will tell you about yourself, though. All right, moving right along. Footloose and fancy free. There's a mystery afoot in Gotham City, and Batman must go toe-to-toe with this mysterious vigilante who goes by the name of Red Hood. Subsequently, old wounds reopen, and old, once-buried memories come into light. That is the synopsis of Batman Under the Red Hood, a DC animated fare from, 2015, I guess. I don't know when this came out.
I think it said 2010.
2010. Yeah, that's when it probably came out. But if you don't know, now you know. We do our one sentence review for everything that we do. Lisa, go ahead and kick us off.
Under the Red Hood. If you can't beat him, join him, Batman, or get out of my way.
Jason, what do you got to say?
This may be the best thing that Jason Todd has ever been a part of. James Gunn, take notes.
And for me, I say, it's so very easy, DC. And I'm not talking about two-time heavyweight champion of the UFC, Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is probably one of my favorite animated movies of the DC universe. of all time. I know that me and Lisa probably have the same opinion of this. This shit's good.
So good.
It's good. Like, and this is what makes me so frustrated about the live action. I harp on this a lot in this on the show, but like, it's right here. You already have a blueprint right there. Like, just give us this with Henry Cavill. That's all. That's all. Like, what do you guys have to say? Come on, go ahead and let's have a discussion about this.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna jump right in because this. So in case y'all don't know, DC is my jam. That's my favorite. I read DC comics. I'm DC over Marvel all day, every day. DC. The only thing that keeps me loyal, that keeps me coming back to Marvel, is the X-Men. But anyway, so yeah, it's just so freaking good, and it's where DC shines, and I don't understand how they can make such quality animation but such crappy like live action films. I just don't get it. I do not get it. And yeah, and anything, because like Batman is usually like my guy. I'm usually always like, Batman's so cool, blah blah. And anything that's gonna make me be like, fuck you, Batman. Like, listen to what he's saying. Kill that mofo. Like, it's gonna be anything's gonna make me turn on Batman. It's gonna be good because he's not lying. Like, this man is scum. Like, he is, the Joker he does not deserve to live. And I just think that Batman in this particular movie, I feel like Batman keeps the Joker alive, so Batman stays relevant.
I do in this. They definitely go to the heart of this in the ending scene where Jason Todd is like I get it. Maybe not the Penguin, maybe not Two-Face, but this dude right here needs to die. And it's like, and I understand maybe we're just going to do it just for reasons, but like, you didn't even do it for me. And I was like, man, you didn't do it for him. You didn't.
No, he didn't.
But it was really cool to see Batman's like, yeah, I would totally love to kill this dude. I would love to. But then, like, I would just be like him.
No, he wouldn't. That's the stupidest excuse I've ever heard. Bullshit. He does it. It's like, remember the movie with all the like the lame superheroes that had Ben Stiller in it? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Superman, All-Star Superman with the Elite Five.
Where's my assistant when I need him?
I know what you're talking about.
There's like the shoveler and the guy who gets angry and the guy.
What's Mystery Man?
Mystery Man, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so and remember, they're keeping Ed Kinnear is keeping all of the bad guys out of prison, so he has something to do, and like he's not killing the bad guys, so he doesn't lose a sponsorship. And it's just like, this is what it feels like. Like, yeah, the Penguin, maybe not such a bad guy. The Joker, literally a murderer, a rapist, a terrorist, like all these things.
Everything
literally kill that mofo.
Everything
like,
is racist, sexist.
Yeah, I mean.
I really just wish at this
Batman would not be like him. That's the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my life.
I just really wish in this movie, the only thing I would ever push back in this movie is that when Jason Todd is giving this, impassioned speech to Batman, he just goes ahead and just shoots the Joker like 4 times in the face. Like, it's over. Yes. It's easy. I did it. Because he had a gun.
I know this is off the script of the movie, but I think, as I agree with you, Lisa, that is the most BS reasoning. I will push back just to be that guy. So I'm going to push my glasses up and go,
okay.
Well, actually, him killing the Joker will become a slippery slope, because then now you're crucifying what crimes are worthy of death and what crimes are not. And so what if you decide that Two-Face flipping a coin and killing someone now makes him worthy of death? So now you're going through this whole thing where you become now almost the judge, jury, and executioner for no other reason, just because you decide it is. So what if at one point you're impassioned and you kill someone out of passion, then you're still like...
That's fine. I agree with you, but is Batman not already doing that as a vigilante? Then Batman is already going outside the law anyways, a vigilante. So if you're already going to do it, just do it. Like, I get what you're saying.
Arresting them So he isn't really. He's doing
he's
a
letting the
good
law,
Samaritan.
He's letting the law work in the way that it works in Gotham. He doesn't really change the systemic problems that are there. But like that's like one of the reasons why I like DC comics more than I like Marvel is because, with exception like maybe Spider-Man, is like they do have that sort of distinction of like, yeah, we're doing this thing that is technically illegal, but we aren't just taking the law into our own hands. And it'd be super easy for us to do so. Like, that's why all those like evil Superman characters aren't all that interesting, is because, of course, if you had all those godlike powers, you just do whatever the fuck you felt like, and you would just do that. Like, of course. But the what makes Superman interesting is that he has all these godlike powers, but he still chooses to believe in the fact that, like, I can arrest this guy and the law will prevail. I mean, he's a white guy, so of course he would think that way.
And it's not like this is the first time. Like, I understand at the beginning he would think like,
you get two more Joker.
But he's already on his third Robin at this point. Like, Joker's done, like, in the beginning, sure. In this point, absolutely not, Batman. Like, you're just doing it just to be self-righteous. I don't know.
Something to do.
Yeah,
Joker might like do his regular
job. What do you want him to do? At least you want him to buy Twitter and just run it into the ground like every other billionaire.
If the Joker's dead, sure.
I need Batman to do like Batman stuff. All right.
So to this movie, look, I love Under the Red Hood. I think Under the Red Hood was the first out of the animated movie series that I was like, oh, they're really stepping into that R-ish kind of rating feel here. Because that crowbar scene, even though it shows enough but doesn't show a lot, it's very, 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 very effective. Very, very, very thrilling. My biggest, my only criticism I have of this movie is nerfing Nightwing. But inside the universe itself, my biggest criticism is, why do people think using the Joker to accomplish a goal is never going to backfire? It is okay. I think it's great for the movie. But like, if you're Ra's al Ghul,
I know who I need to.
You've been around the block.
The Joker,
right? Yeah. You're Ra's al Ghul. You've been around the block. You know that the Joker ain't got no off switch. You are Black Mask. You live in Gotham. You see when the Joker's free and what havoc he caused. And you're like, I need somebody crazier to go get this. Crazier never stops crazy.
That was an awesome scene when he has the Joker sitting there in the room and it's got all these goons around him. And like the Joker's just sitting there, like not paying attention to what he's saying. He's like, "Can I have a glass of water?" And then he completely murders all the dudes in the room. And it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna need some henchmen, but not these guys. These don't seem to work very well."
Right. So, also the other part too, I know in the comic books, it's three Jokers in the comic book. Supposedly, like when Batman sits on the chair and
I tried to.
That could explain away a lot.
And it didn't make any sense to me, so I just like I'm just gonna throw this out of my mind as canon. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sure DC did the same thing too.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to the movie. So that's only the nerfing Nightwing. I do love that the villains think that getting a psychopath is a solution to any problem. One of the best things that I like about this movie is that Jason Todd is Nino Brown, baby. Like, he out here, hey, now y'all work for me.
Y'all work for me now.
Selling drugs in these streets, it's got to go through me. Don't sell to no kids. Don't sell to no women. Moms and women and kids is off the table. If I catch y'all selling out y'all territory, I'm coming for that head. Like, Jason Todd is Nino Brown. The only thing Jason Todd didn't do in this movie was hand out turkeys.
He was handing out people's heads.
Right. And I think the funnest scene in this whole thing is when they send like the robotic people after them or the cyborg people after them. They're like
whatever they call
him and Batman to team up. But I love Jason's Todd thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm just stalling for time." I'm like, "Until what?" Until he shows up, and it's like, yes, like
I love that part so much.
Which I wish Nightwing wasn't nerfed, because then all three of them could have fought, and I think that would have been amazing.
Batman basically sends Nightwing home, like, "Oh, you go home." Bye.
Bloodhaven,
I'm done with you
later, buddy.
Nightwing, go home.
But I do love Nightwing's thing. He's like, at one time, he just say, "Let's get in the car." Like, I thought that was just awesome. But I love this movie, man. I can't say anything bad about this movie. You like action, you like suspense, you like Batman feeling like the true incarnation of Batman. Hell, if you like Jason Todd being depicted as the proper way Jason Todd should be depicted, as a cunning, conniving, intelligent vigilante who literally feels like the methods of Batman are only good to a certain means, and he should take it to the next level. Like, it fits all of those. And you know what's great about all this, guys? It's like 82 minutes, like 90 minutes. It's not long. You can all
so
this
great.
Watch it
in a very small amount of time.
Yeah. You get
Like,
so much.
Yeah. I mean, James Cameron, go talk to them about how you do this.
Yeah. How you can tell an effective and good story in 80 minutes and like not. Never mind. We're not going to go into that. The voice acting in this is great. I think particularly, I really like. I mean, you know, your boy Jason Ackles. He really brings like Jason Todd. Like he sells the angst and the anger. And just with his voice too, like a lot of people can't really do that because, as we've seen in freaking what was that stupid movie from Disney we watched last week, The Strange Worlds, where it's just like everybody's just like, oh, we're talking, this is what we're doing. This is like even though Jason Ackles is not a voice actor and Neil Patrick Harris is not a voice actor, they use their voices so effectively to get their characters across. Even Bruce Greenwood, who is like not my like first pick to pick for Batman, you know, it's always Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, you know. But like, even I mean, John DiMaggio is the only like, you know, voice actor who's like a full-time voice actor on this, and like even him, I mean, like I didn't like his Joker at first when I first watched this movie, but on the second watch, I'm like, man, John, you're doing it here. Like,
because he's so unhinged. Like, it's not like it's not campy. It's very eerie. Like he almost sounds regular. So you're just like, what the?
He feels eerie, but he feels very eerie and slimy. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's almost like a coding to everything he says and does. Where like Hamill's is more played up for the yucks. I mean, it was a '90s kids cartoon as well.
Sure.
But Joe DiMaggio, he's definitely more like when he says what he says, you hang on to every word because you're waiting for what's the joke of the words he's using. And I think that's very impressive.
He also brings that subtext that's always there with Joker to Batman, especially when Batman was stroking him. It was like, you're finally going to do it that time of the way he says it.
Oh,
it's
like, I dare you.
Yeah, not just I dare you, but like, I got a little bit of wood right now. So if you're going to do, are we doing this? Are we doing this?
Yeah.
Are we going to kiss? Like, that's like that's what he brings into it. Like,
oh my god!
Is this my birthday?
Yeah.
Let the boy watch.
Remember what is it? Is it the Dark Knight 2 or the Dark? I think it's the Dark Knight 2 where the Joker literally just breaks his own neck because he's tired of. Because he's just like, you're not gonna do it. Then you don't get to save me, and just breaks his own neck. And I just remember being like,
which honestly, the part I hate about that scene the most is because it felt like it's so uncharacteristically Batman. It's like Batman spits on him after it. Like if you remember that part, after he breaks his neck. Yeah, after he spits, Batman spits on the Joker after that.
Odd. It's been so long since I watched it. I don't remember that.
Frank Miller is one of those guys that he was definitely good in the time and the place.
Yeah.
And once
I didn't love those movies though. Those weren't my favorites.
No. The first one was okay.
The first one was okay. The second one was weird.
Those were the latter part of when the DC animated universe was just like kind of just throwing whatever at the wall, and they weren't really paying attention to what they were doing. So yeah, especially that like the Killing Joke.
Yeah, because I love that graphic novel. It's so good. I mean, in a fucked up way, but it's so good. And that movie was just weird.
It was just weird.
I don't hate that movie as much as others. I think they should not have just called it. I feel like they should not have called it The Killing Joke.
Yeah.
I think they should have done some Batgirl-centric movie, minus the whole Batman and her getting it on thing. I think that's the only piece I'm like,
that's disgusting. I don't like. She's his father figure. He's
weird.
her father figure.
She got a daddy. She father figure. She got a daddy.
No, but still, like he's known her since he was like a child.
Like it was icky. It was
icky.
They did it on purpose,
and they did it again.
They did it again to fetishize it.
They do it again in the Batman Beyond comics as well, where like she gets pregnant and they think it's Nightwing's baby, and Bruce like, well, tell Nightwing gradually, like, nah, it's your baby. I'm like, I don't need this. And like, well, we already have the
Killing Joke. It's from Bruce Timm and him, so
yeah.
Yeah.
We already have that subtext with him and Dick. Let's just leave that there, okay? We don't need.
Like how you said that too. They have that something with him and Dick.
Yeah,
you know,
he loves Dick.
Gotcha.
He loves Dick.
Yes.
Come on, let's stay with that.
But treats Dick just like his son.
I agree. So one of our viewers said that some people just have to be put down, and I will die on that hill that I just think that Joker is one of those people.
As a part of a marginalized group that gets sometimes killed by vigilante violence, I sometimes disagree.
This is like public knowledge. It's not like it's like
I respectfully disagree.
Jason, come on now. This is like literally he's been terrorizing a fucking city. We don't know it's the Joker that did that.
Give me the evidence.
Jason,
right? You got one old lady that said he catcalled, and now we have to hang up from a tree. I don't get it.
You better stop. You better stop.
I respectfully disagree.
You cannot compare yourself to the Joker. That is not even
Joker's going to be the Emmett Till of the DC universe. Is that what you're doing here?
No, Lisa, you're
only on this show where Joker will be in the same category with Emmett Till. Ladies and gentlemen, we've hit a new high and hit a new low, all at the same time.
With myself.
Let's be 100% honest. If Joker exists in the real world, he would not go to Arkham. He would just go to death row. They would not be like, oh, he's got a mental illness. No, we're going to kill that dude. Yeah. And if he got out, someone's brother is going to shoot him 6 times in the back.
He wouldn't even make it to prison. He would be in the holding cell, like Epstein.
Yeah, he would get Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mysteriously die.
You
would never even make it.
You killed my sister's baby and my sister.
Yeah.
This broomstick has something to say about that.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
exactly. It wouldn't even.
Joker's really, really white. He may be the whitest man on the planet, and white people seem to get away with crazy shit.
Privilege,
so I don't know. Right, look at my hands. Look at my face.
I don't have to deal with consequence.
I'm as white as they come.
Joker's on Twitter just dropping the N-bomb oh, the Joker. We're not going to cancel him.
Yeah. And I'm a mediocre white man, a failed comedian, a failed thief. And look how I've upgraded.
Yeah. Wait. Have y'all watched the Harley? Have you guys talked about the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max?
I don't think we've
early on.
I think we did review it at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, a couple of episodes on the first season.
Really good.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. Yeah. I don't know. I like Kelly Kuko's voice gets grating after a while, but it's still a good.
I think that's the point. I think Harley Quinn's supposed to be grating after a little while.
I could not be her friend. Honestly, I could not be her friend. Obviously, because she has friends like the Joker, and I want to be well in that group anyway.
Ew, they are not friends.
Yeah, but the fact that she dated him and yo, Harley, let's hang out. And the next thing I know, Joker shows up, is hey, I hear you hanging out with my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, fuck. Can you just make sure there's enough for me for my parents to bury? We're not even dating. We just went on the movies as a group.
Image of the Joker. Yeah, that show's rejuvenated the image of the Joker. I'll give it that. He's still disgusting and kills a lot, but it's he's still really kind of charming. I can see why people kind of rocks with him a little bit.
He's just a nice guy.
No, don't let him gaslight you guys too. He is not. No.
I can fix him.
No. Abort.
All right, let's go on to our rating system. If you don't know, now you know. If we like something, we give it a head. If we think it's mid, we give it a cannon. And if we think it's garbage, we give it a circus. What do you guys feel about the voice performances of Under the Red Hood? Jason.
I would definitely give this a head. It's great voice work here.
Lisa.
Jensen Ackles is in it. Do I even have to? It's a head. Duh.
Also, Jason, I would also give this head. Everybody does such a great job in this, and it's it's good. It's good. You gotta watch it. All right, animation style. What would you give this, Lisa? Let's figure here.
This is still kind of that it almost feels like 90s animation. It's still kind of on that. So I love it. That's what I grew up on. So it gets head.
All right, Jason.
I don't care for a lot of the Steeler looks of it, but all the action and movement scenes look very, very fluid. So I'm still going to probably give it a head. I can't lie on it.
I'm going to give it a head as well because this is before DC started doing this like faux anime style, which is just so terrible that I hate. But this is like more of the Bruce Timm style, but still not Bruce Timm. But it's still good. It's still good. I give it a head on this. All right. And how scary is the Joker in this movie? Jason.
I'm gonna give it a canon, man. I mean, he's scary, but I still need my Joker a little more lighthearted, so it makes it even scarier when he does cruel things. This one feels like he does cruel things when he wakes up.
Lisa, what would you give this Joker?
No, head, because what we talked about, that moment where he was that moment again when I was watching, I was like, oh my god, so yeah, he gets head.
I feel like in this, John DiMaggio is doing kind of like Kevin Richardson did in the Batman with that deeper Joker voice, that gravelly Joker voice. It is different and it's kind of off-putting to begin with, but once you get what he's doing, it's very, very affecting. I'm going to give it a head as well. And that is our review of. Oh wait, we got to give it a 0 from 1 to 5. Lisa, what would you give this?
5. Scott Jensen Ackles.
Jason.
I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. They nerfed Nightwing.
You suck.
We're
gonna have an applause moment here.
Yay! Because we ain't gonna have applause for the next movie, that's for sure.
We're gonna have an applause moment here. Jason, you ruined it.
Thank you guys.
All right. 57 years after surviving an apocalyptic attack aboard the space vessel by a merciless space creature, Officer Ripley awakens from hypersleep and tries to warn anyone who will listen about the predators. Wow.
What?
That's from the internet. I don't know what they're fucking talking about. That is the synopsis of James Cameron's seminal classic Aliens that Lisa's going to shit on today and break our male hearts. For those of you joining us for the first time, if you don't know, now you know. We do our one sentence review. Lisa, hit us with your one sentence review.
One sentence review of Aliens. Perfect example of that's what you get for not listening to your elders.
That's true. Jason.
When something's strange in your space colony, who you gonna call? Ellen Ripley.
See, it rhymes too. My several sentences. We should have known James Cameron was trash. He put a whole ass white woman in brown face to play Vasquez. Movie good though.
Whoa.
Facts. He's as white as his wife.
Vasquez is the stepmom from Terminator 2. That same woman. She's in blackface, basically. And it's horrible. But she's like, for me, was like that's my quintessential Latina woman. That's Vasquez for like the first 10 years of my life.
Lisa, go ahead and rip our hearts out.
Okay,
and have me and Jason pick up the pieces.
Okay, so let's just talk about why we're watching this. Number one, we're watching it because we did a James Cameron movie, and number two, there is a whole like long list of movies that I missed.
It's a shitload. A shitload of movies.
In from like the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s because they were rated R, and so this was the guys' like top pick. They were devastated to find out that I'd never seen any of these movies. I would like to say that I have seen Alien versus Predator, however, but
much better.
So that's why we're watching it. Okay, so I wrote a nice little paragraph. Let me just.
All right. Yes. Clear your throat. Let's continue.
After watching Alien and Aliens and Avatar back to back, and being an avid watcher of Titanic and Terminator 2, you cannot convince me that all of James Cameron's movies aren't in the same universe. James Cameron is just reusing the same plot points and character development in all of his movies, and people are just letting him do it. Bishop is the android who used to be the bad guy but comes back in clutch at the end. Sound like Terminator 2? That freaking slow-ass fight scene with Ripley in the robot suit is like right out of Avatar. Finn.
And C. I mean, you ain't wrong.
Oh, no, she's 100% correct.
You're not wrong at all.
James Cameron, like all the stuff you complain about Avatar, James Cameron's done his whole career. He's done his whole career.
I mean, we didn't watch Abyss, so like, which is like basically all those same things that he did, except he did it in 88 rather than in 89, like with Aliens. So,
this movie was easier to watch than the first one. However, I think I like the first one better. And I can't quite figure it out. And all I can come to is because, like, in the first one, I didn't care if Ripley died or not. Like, it didn't care. I wasn't emotionally attached to anybody other than the cat. So I was just like, as long as the cat lives. So in this one, I had a hard time caring about anyone. Newt a little bit, but Newt was kind of annoying to me.
A lot of people keep saying Newt was annoying. She
was like 3 words. Yeah, she
literally says 4 things the entire time. And the only time she gets in trouble is because the adults fucked up.
Listen, I know. And I felt a little bad, but I couldn't decide if it's just like because I was just a little annoyed that they put a child in there just because now we found out she had a kid, that just died, that she missed her whole life and all this stuff. So I'm glad that you told me about that. So it wasn't like, but like literally Newt was just there to be like, fire, Ripley, fire, and I'm just like, well, why is she even here? And then,
they mostly come out night. Mostly, it's adorable.
Listen, but then like as soon as like the end happens, she's known Ripley for 12 hours, and then she's like, mommy, hugging her. I'm like, no, I'm not buying that shit. Like, no.
Hold on.
You literally just watch your mom get
that come nice to you is going to be your mom, all right?
Right. Yeah. You literally see the queen that remember, because Ellen stayed there to get Newt because she could have bounced. So yes, I would tell mommy, yes.
Yeah.
We're family now. You have to take care of me.
The aliens were definitely more intense. Like this movie was definitely more intense than the second one.
Yeah.
And it was like that you can tell they had a bigger budget. You can tell technology had come further along. But like that slow ass fight scene, man, where she's just like,
it's 89, all right? Like if you saw it 89, you would have been amazed.
Also, listen, like that alien was a real animatronic. That was no.
Yeah, I know.
PG.
That's
like they
super
really
cool.
built that.
Yeah.
Like that.
That alien was mad impressive. But it's another one where it was about the hour and 17-minute mark before anything fucking happened. And I'm just like, why does he keep doing this to us? He's literally ruining my life.
For real, I feel like that maybe because I thought the quippiness of Ripley was so intriguing to me because we only have seen her in Alien in that atmosphere with the other truckers. To see her now with the government and the military and her being accused of basically being a liar, believe all women except for in the future where you.
So I really liked Ripley. I enjoyed her. It was that stupid schmarmy guy. I can't think of his name as the famous
Hudson.
No. Well, Hudson.
It's hilarious.
Which one was the one who kept saying "Game over, man"?
Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson's fucking annoying. Hicks, I really like, but I think I'm partial to Hicks because isn't he Terminator? Isn't he the Terminator? Or not the Terminator? He's
yes.
He's Kyle Reese.
Yes, in so I probably am a little predispositioned to like him in my brain, and but now I'm talking about like the suit, the guy who.
Oh, Paul Reiser's character.
Paul Reiser. Like he was
Burke.
So annoying. He's so annoying,
and he's the
like nobody listened to
guy.
Ripley, and it was very annoying that it was annoying the shit out of me that no one was listening to her, and they're basically telling her she's crazy when you just got her out of a cryogen for like I don't know. It made me mad that they were not listening to her, and I was just like, Ripley, you're a badass. You just defeated, these aliens by yourself, and you kept a cat alive. Like, just punch him in
and
the
you
face.
kept the cat alive.
And like, why are you even entertaining them? Let them go die without you. You don't need
I think that's what the point of the movie is the fact that they didn't listen to her, and they all got fucking slaughtered.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we should listen to her. Like, as soon as they got out of the power plant, they were like, Ripley, what do you want to do? She's like, let's nuke it from orbit. And like Hudson or Hicks is like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm the reigning officer now. Let's nuke it from orbit. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, who gives a fuck? Yeah. So that's the one thing I like about this movie is like, I like when you have horror movies, or this is really not a horror movie per se, but where you have these people who are like overly confident that they're going to be like, whatever is down there, we've got it. This is going to be fun. And then they're like, oh no, even though we're highly trained Marines, this is not something that we could have done.
They're trash at taking orders. Like, you're supposed to be highly trained Marines, and you can't even like not shoot your weapon. Like,
well, in their defense, their commanding officer is a moron.
Well, yeah, just surrounded by morons. Ripley should have just been like, taken Newt and been like, bye, I'm out.
That's kind of like, no offense to my servicemen, but usually the guy who just got out of freaking training, he's, even though he's his first day, they put him in charge. And like, even though you've been there 15, 20 years doing this shit, now you got to listen to this 21-year-old kid who just got out of officer school, who thinks he knows everything, who doesn't know everything. That's why I like Apone, who's like, I got to follow this guy's orders, but like, we're going to do it my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was dumb for them to like go in there with their plasma rifles and like,
why'd you even consult her? And I have a question. I might have just missed it, but like, their blood is acid, correct?
Correct.
So like, whenever they were doing like the fire, the flamethrower, the alien is still bleeding. Why was everything not just melting away?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
I'm a hit. Okay, my assumption is the internet has somewhat answered that question. That the fire combined with the acid absorbs the acid's acidity level. Yeah, that's why it doesn't melt through. That's actually internet saw that and they gave that answer. So
I think Bishop actually was starting to say something about that in the movie, and they were just like, "Shut up, Bishop. No one wants to care about your science shit."
Right.
Like, okay. So it's
like, how do we kill these things? Like,
I mean, I just figured it was such a like noticeable thing. I was like, I had to have missed where they talked about this because it was so obvious. You're just like watching the blood happen, and I'm like waiting for people just to melt and the floor to melt, and I'm like, what's going on? So yeah.
I hate all the black people die first. That sucks.
Well, not the person in blackface. She's a
Latina.
I don't know if she associates with Afro Latinas, but all right.
She's like, I'm Cuba, ma.
Yeah.
So after we just heard Lisa crush our childhood, I will say this about aliens. Ripley gives a definitely OP upgrade in this. Like, she is like rocking shit in this one, like busting through with the fucking tank. Like, get in here. Like, she learned her lesson from the first one. When she was passive, a lot of bad shit happened. And I think that's a huge thing in this one I enjoy, is that she realized from the first one, when, you know, you didn't make them stay out there for 24 hours. Like, she's so passive in the first one that you can make almost an argument that every time she's passive, the threat escalates. Yeah. This one, she like, nah, bruh, nuke it. Only time she's more passive is when she has to go save Newt. But everything else outside of that, she's like, nope, let's leave. Nope, let's go. Nope, get him up out of here.
Yeah, guess what, guys?
Android.
Y'all just
I don't trust you.
With explosive bullets.
Right.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely like, nah, we not playing this game this time. I told you it was dangerous. Y'all don't want to hear it. I'm not down with you suckers. So we getting up out of here. So I did enjoy that. I also like the fact that, I mean, besides the slow fight that Lisa talks about, it's still an iconic matchup, mono versus mono moment.
Get away from her, you bitch.
It's just so,
yeah.
I almost say
like,
so
get away
satisfying. Also, it makes it so much more satisfying. At least it said the fight so slow is because literally, if you watch Community, that's part of the joke for in Community about like.
I get it now. There's so many jokes.
I think this would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that's like right out of Avatar.
So
like as soon as I saw her as soon as I saw those things, those machines, I like immediately turned to James and I was just like, yo, that's right out of Avatar. And it was just like,
I mean,
it's
don't
James
worry,
Cameron.
It gets ripped off. I mean, it gets ripped off in the Matrix too. Like, they have the same kind of power loader mech suits in the Matrix 2 and 3.
Well, just so fresh in my brain, because I just seen it.
Right. And so the other last part about this movie that is ultimately enjoyable is just the simple fact that it submits the aliens as the xenomorphs as real threats. Because an alien, you could say, well, these were inexperienced people, no kind of real combat training, that were trying to make the best of a situation. And one alien just well, but I'm saying, but one alien dismantles that whole ship.
Yeah.
This one is like, oh, these guys, like, it's no Alien versus Predator if aliens doesn't exist, because nobody would believe that the Predator would have any challenge taking out one alien. Because that alien is pretty much easy to beat. Like, he really comes out in the open and is like, let me grab you. Like, so.
Which is why
Aliens is a little harder.
This is why I always hated the end of Aliens versus Predator, because by the transitive property, a bunch of space marines can beat a bunch of aliens. And one Predator can beat a bunch of badass marines. So therefore, one Predator should be able to just lay waste to thousands of aliens. But they end up losing in Aliens versus Predator? I hated that.
Did they lose an Alien versus Predator? But it was a baby. It was a youngling who went.
The way they explain it is that they only send the best of the best to go do that shit.
I thought that the way they explained it was that's how you prove that, like, you're a worthy warrior.
Then their race never existed, because apparently they all suck. They sent the C team down there. Like, how do y'all still procreate if that's what you're making your kids do? Because I made my kid do that, we would not have kids in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, 2 of the 3 dudes die, and the third dude dies in the next movie. I mean, like, I hated that. I was like,
I need to rewatch. It's been so long, so then I can come back with a better counter.
These Predators should have been like high-fiving each other and just having a blast. It's like, oh, this is great. Oh, best
I don't remember it that way. I don't
fist bumping and like, yeah, this is I love this. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
I don't think so.
Plus, I don't. You have to pay me to go back and watch Alien versus Predator, so I'm good.
The first one is not bad. The second one is fucking god awful. I
don't like the first one because Annihilation.
I know I saw the second one. I just don't remember it.
It is mean spirited. That's what I would say. Mean spirited.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's just like, you know.
All right,
there's
Stacey,
a lot of
to
stuff
say on Aliens.
There's a lot of stuff I like about Aliens. I like Hudson being like gradually going to like from cocky jackass to emotional wreck jackass. Like, because I thought, and like every time freaking Bill Paxton, rest his soul, opens his mouth, he's like saying something stupidly funny, and it's like, like he's fanning, game over, man, that's iconic. Or now what are we supposed to do? It's just, it's like,
hey man,
he seems like he's having fun. All right, like everybody else is like, let's take this James Cameron movie seriously, and Bill Paxton's like, I'm Bill Paxton, let's have a good time here. Let's show up.
Well, Bill Paxton, I think, what is the one of the few or the only guy with a triple double, been in Alien, Predator, and Terminator.
He was in Terminator?
He was in the first one. He's in the very first scene of Terminator. He's in Predator? He was in Predator 2.
Predator 2.
Yeah. Whoa.
He's the only one of the rare people that did a triple double. Yep.
Triple double. Yeah,
what does triple double mean?
That's like a really big hamburger. It's like this big, and you gotta like,
someone keep that clip so we can just put it all over the internet for Jason. Yeah.
You gotta unhinged.
It's 1:38. We'll record at 1:37, and then we'll just take that clip for Jason.
So that guy, the triple double guys.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Continue.
Some sort of sports reference for all I know.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll ask my assistant later.
But yeah, I don't find Newt to be that annoying. In most movies where they added sequel and they add a kid, the kid's annoying. Newt's just kind of just really there a lot of the times, and like, yeah, she's gonna call out for the one person that's like actually looking out for her. So I don't find that annoying. Paul Reiser is supposed to be fucking swarmy and sleazy.
Yeah, I agree.
His character. And it's like, because there's if you, after watching this movie for like the 15 millionth time, like you start to realize like they were setting her up from the get. Like they knew all that shit was there. Like they set all the motherfuckers up.
Yes.
Like, because even when they're talking, what's his face? Gorman was like, oh, it's a xenomorph. Like, if y'all didn't think they were aliens there, how do you know what y'all looking for? How y'all got a name for it? Yeah, there's so many like little subtle things where like, oh yeah, they're sending them to fucking die or something like that. So, or someone's not telling the truth. So there's a lot of little subtle things in there. Yeah, it's bombastic. They kind of overly masculinize Ripley, but they make her a mom again, so that's kind of like it balances out.
Is Newt in the rest of the franchise? Oh, okay. So not even her fucking mom. See, guys.
Oh, yeah. Part 3 is probably part 3 sucks only because the beginning of part 3 is so bombastically bad that we just trash the rest of the movie because part 3.
It literally just undoes everything that happens in Aliens 2. It just like
those are my favorite kinds of movies.
Yeah, and like just undercuts it. And like, it's David Fincher, so it's like it's still got like moments of like genius in there, but it's like he was rushing. It was like his first movie he was ever making, and like the studio was
writing the script while the movie was going on.
They were literally writing the script while they were shooting the movie. But Charles S. Dutton is in it, and like anytime you got Rock in there, like
and then like, Alien Resurrection's even worse than that. So
is that the one that has Winona Ryder in it?
That's the one that has Winona Ryder in it.
That's the moment.
Mom is dead. Mom is dead, dickhead. That's what she says.
But then we learned that aliens can swim, so that's a thing.
Cool.
And then they completely fuck up the franchise after that by saying all that shit that happened before. Who knows?
They're just trying to make a buck. Okay, so the rest of the Alien movies are not by James Cameron then, just this one.
Just this one, yes.
Okay, so we're done watching this, or are we keeping on?
We're done watching James Cameron movies. Okay. Thank God. Unless we've got to watch Terminator 1 and 2, which is probably his best pair.
I mean, if y'all are gonna make me keep watching James Cameron movies, I'm gonna insist that one of them be Titanic. So you better think really. My heart will go on.
Yeah, you ain't gonna watch some more James Cameron. You good? You're right. You know what? He's a hack. He's a terrible hack. We don't need to watch any more of his movies.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Let's get to the rating of Aliens. If you don't know, now you know. We have a system. If it's good, we give it a head. If it's mid, we give it a cannon. And if it's a straight dookie, we give it a circus. Lisa, overall story, what would you give this?
It's canon, I guess. I've heard it's tropey. It's tropey enough.
Fired.
It's a trope for a reason. Tropes are tropes for a reason.
It's tropey. You're right. It is very tropey. Jason, what would you give this overall story?
Yeah, canon for sure. Definitely canon.
I'm going to give it a head because it's just the simplest story you could possibly make. They go Space Marines, shoot aliens. Game over.
Space Cowboys. Game over, man. Yes.
Performances. How would you rate this one? Lisa.
Performances. Yeah. Oh, God. Where to start? No, I think Sigourney Weaver, I love her. I think she's fantastic. I could never say anything bad about her. So just because she's in it and it's her show, it's head.
Jason, what would you give it?
Oh, right there is head. I mean, I'll have Sigourney Weaver's baby. I will be that Avatar girl in the new Avatar.
We figure out who that baby's daddy is. It's Jason. He's sitting there touching that giant, licking the glass.
I miss you so much.
Wait till I'm the daddy, my love.
I know. I'm the daddy. Don't worry, baby. I'll take care of you.
I will also give it a head. I enjoy. I think everybody plays their part like the way it was meant to be played, and I think it's great. Lastly, one-liners made by Bill Paxton. To give them.
Oh, Lisa, head all day. Head all day. Yes.
Well, Jason's head.
If I had to hear "man" one more time, it was like "bro" in Avatar. Like if you made drinking game, we would be dead. If there was a drinking game about how many times Bill Paxton said "man" or how many times that those stupid little kids said
those
"bro,"
Chad bros,
like we would be dead. We would have to be. Our stomachs would be pumped. Like no, circus.
I loved every little one-liner that they had in this movie. I think it's like a masterclass in how to write terrible one-liners. I'm going to give it a head. Overall score from 1 to 5. Lisa, what would you give it? 5 being great, 1 being shitty. And remind you that your job is hanging on the score. We are both funded by James Cameron.
Oh. Did I like this more than Avatar? Absolutely. So it's a 3.
That's all that matters to me. Jason, 1 out of 5, what would you give it?
4.5. I love Aliens.
Yeah, I'm right with you. 4.5. I love this movie. It's not perfect by any means, but it's as close as it's going to get without adding more Bill Paxton in it. All right, we've talked for a while now, and this is the part where the Elvis fans are like, "Thank God they're finally get to it." It's the end. It's the end of our show. The end of the
world as we know it.
Not the song that I was singing, but it's fine. For all those, don't forget to pick up your book club book for this book club month book. It's the 5th season by N.K. Jessamine. The 5th season by N.K. Jessamine. That was what I was going to say earlier. I'm actually halfway through it right now.
God, you're such a good
haven't
student.
Even cracked it open yet. Yeah, I haven't even cracked it open
neither. I haven't even.
Y'all better get to it. Look how big this thing is,
Jason. It's fine.
That's what she says.
It's fine.
It is thicker than a pregnant Latina right here. This is thick.
It's all right.
Man, that cancellation button gets closer and
Guys,
closer every week.
Listen, it's still
every week.
We're still working on a few things, okay? Just everyone.
Still working the thing. Pick
please, just give me some time.
Lisa, do you have any closing words for our audience, please?
I forgot. Okay, so we're not going to be here next week because I'm going to be in Universal Studios, Harry Potter Land.
No.
Sorry, not sorry.
Must nice
spelling on this.
So yep, I hope everyone has a happy holiday, whatever they celebrate. And I hope they get spoiled. And be nice to each other and check on your strong friends. Mental health is important. So just a simple text saying, "Hey, are you alive?" or "Hi, I'm alive" would be fantastic.
There's a TikTok that goes around where the guy's like, "You know what? Today's the day. Just do it." And then people are like, no, not that.
Yeah. Not for you. Not meant for you.
Not for you.
Yeah.
Jason, you have any closing words?
Thanks everybody for the support. Anthony, he is one of the people that will write in and talk about horror movies when we do a horror movie review. Looks like it's the first time I've seen him on the thread on a live show. So Anthony, again, we do this every Wednesday, typically starting about 8:30. So come through, kick it with us again next week. Again, the show's just been growing, and we've been having comments and feedback, and it's making me to the point I have to do another comment reading part of the show again. So probably in another week or so, when Lisa returns from Universal, waving her wand around in the streets, we'll probably do
just breaking that bookie just all around.
You know. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hollow Points. So, but other than that, guys, just thank you guys. Right? Harry got the blicky.
This is a stick up.
Put all the wands down. Put them down. I came from the Muggle world. We don't play this out here. So Harry going hard.
I need medallions.
They said, mouthful, you the richest one in the school, huh? What size shoe was that? Mine. But anyway, but thank you guys for the support. And just going to keep churning it out, man. And if anything you want us to review, as always, put it in the comments and we will review it. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Let us know if there's something you want us to watch, especially old school movies that
we like to remind you that Lisa has not seen anything.
Literally, I haven't seen anything from the 80s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. Unless my husband loves them. That's it. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, everybody. Always, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the stuff so that we can finally make money and quit our jobs and go on tour and, and sell out like the other people do and go to the movie premieres. But either way, y'all be kind, be considerate. It's the holiday season, so tip your servers and bartenders more than 20% if you can afford it. And if you see Jaren, tell them that the best Ghostbusters movies is the one with Melissa McCarthy.
And tell them that with your fist.
Yeah, with your fist. And spit. Bah. The best Ghostbuster one is the one with the ladies.
Okay.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.
What?
And I got hit twice. Oh.